What's up, everyone? Today, we are going to do something absolutely insane. I'm going to count down the top 10 craziest ideas that literally turn normal everyday people just like you and me, into millionaires. And the wildest part? They did it in just 6 months. I'm not kidding. We're talking about going from zero to a 7-figure bank account in the time it takes to watch a season of your favorite show. These aren't some far-fetched dreams. These are real stories with real people and real money. I flew my team all over the world to verify these stories, and what we found will blow your mind. These ideas are so simple yet so brilliant that anyone could have thought of them. But these 10 people didn't just think, they acted, and their lives changed forever. This video isn't just about showing you what they did, it's about proving that you could be next. I want this video to be the spark that lights a fire under you. One of these ideas, or maybe an even better one you come up with while watching, could be your ticket to financial freedom. This is the most important video you will ever watch if you want to change your life. So as we go through this list, I want you to do something for me. Get in the comments right now and tell me which one of these insane ideas you would actually try. Don't be shy. Would you launch an app, sell t-shirts, flip a house? I'm going to be reading every single comment because I genuinely believe the next millionaire is watching this video right now. Let's get into it. This is 10 ideas that made millionaires in just 6 months. Alright, coming in at number 10 is something you've probably heard of, but I bet you've never seen it done like this. It's called dropshipping. For anyone who doesn't know, it's basically where you sell stuff online without ever touching the product. You're like a middleman with a website. We found this guy, let's call him Alex, who was working a boring desk job, making barely enough to cover his rent. He was scrolling online one night and saw a weird-looking cat toy that was going viral in another country. It was a simple, goofy little product. Instead of just laughing and scrolling on, Alex had an idea. He spent a weekend, literally just 2 days, building a super basic online store. He didn't buy a single piece of inventory. He just listed this one cat toy. Then he took the last $500 in his bank account and dumped it all into running simple social media ads targeting cat owners. He told me he was so nervous he couldn't sleep that first night, staring at his phone waiting for a single sale. He was convinced he had just thrown away his last $500. Then, it happened. Cha-ching, one sale, then another, and another. His phone started buzzing so much he had to turn off notifications. The ads went completely viral. People were tagging their friends, sharing the videos, and buying this silly cat toy like crazy. Within the first month, Alex had made over $100,000 in profit. It was so much money he thought it was a glitch. He had never seen that many zeros in his bank account before. He was literally just forwarding orders to a supplier, and the cash was pouring in. But he didn't stop there. He found another trending product, a portable blender, and then another, a sunset lamp. He created a system, a machine for finding viral products and building mini stores around them. He reinvested every single dollar he made back into more ads, scaling up at a speed that is almost unbelievable. His friends and family thought he was crazy, that it was some kind of scam that would collapse any day. They told him to be careful, to save his money, but he just kept pushing. In just under 6 months from that first $500 ad spend on a goofy cat toy, Alex's stores had generated over $3 million in revenue, with over $1 million in pure profit. He quit his job, bought his dream car, and now travels the world looking for the next viral product. He went from a boring desk job to a millionaire in 180 days because he saw an opportunity and wasn't afraid to take a risk. It's absolutely insane. Okay, for our number 9 spot, we're diving into the world of apps. You probably have dozens of apps on your phone right now, but have you ever thought about how much money they make? We found a college student, Sarah, who was learning to code in her dorm room. She wasn't some genius programmer, she was literally just learning from free tutorials online. She noticed that all her friends were obsessed with a new reality TV show, and they were constantly texting each other their predictions and hot takes. It was chaotic and disorganized. That's when the light bulb went off. Sarah decided to build a super simple app, just for fun, that let users make predictions about the show each week and compete with their friends on a leaderboard. It had polls, a comment section, and a simple point system. She didn't think it would be a big deal. She just built it for her and about 20 of her friends. She spent about a month coding it after her classes, living off instant noodles and energy drinks. It was a passion project, not a business plan. She launched the app on the App Store for free with no advertising and just sent the link to her friends. What happened next is the definition of viral. Her friends loved it so much they shared it with their friends, who shared it with their friends. Within a week, it had thousands of users. Then a popular fan account for the reality show tweeted about the app. That's when everything exploded. The servers almost crashed. Her phone was blowing up with notifications from the App Store. The app went from a few dozen users to hundreds of thousands in a matter of weeks. It was the #1 trending app in the entertainment category. Sarah was so overwhelmed she had to call her computer science professor for help, just to keep the app from crashing. Companies started reaching out, wanting to advertise on the app. They were offering her thousands of dollars just to put a small banner ad at the bottom of the screen. She was suddenly running a real business from her dorm room. Before the season finale of the reality show, a major media company contacted her. They saw the massive, engaged community she had built. They didn't just want to advertise, they wanted to buy the whole app. After a few weeks of negotiation, they made her an offer she couldn't refuse, a 7-figure buyout. In less than 6 months, a simple idea for her and her friends, built in a dorm room, turned this college student into a millionaire. She paid off her student loans in one go, and is now working on her next big app idea. This next one is for all the creative people watching. At number 8 we have print on demand, and this story is wild. We met a graphic designer named Leo who was doing freelance work, designing logos for companies for a few $100 a pop. He was talented, but he was tired of trading his time for money. He felt like he was on a hamster wheel, always chasing the next client, the next paycheck. He loved creating art, but hated the grind of the freelance lifestyle. One day, he was scrolling through social media and noticed a funny meme about introverts. It was a simple phrase. I came, I saw, I made it awkward. He chuckled, and then an idea hit him. What if he put that on a t-shirt? He didn't want to risk buying hundreds of shirts that might not sell, so he looked into print on demand. This is a service where you upload a design and a company prints and ships the product for you only after someone buys it. Zero risk, zero inventory. Leo spent an evening creating a cool, minimalist design for the phrase. He uploaded it to a print-on-demand website, created a simple online store, and that was it. He didn't even run any ads at first. He just posted a picture of the shirt mock-up on his personal social media pages. A few of his friends bought one, and he made about $10 in profit from each shirt. It wasn't much, but it was proof that the concept worked. He was hooked. He started brainstorming more ideas. He created designs based on relatable jokes, hobbies like gaming and reading, and professions like nursing and teaching. He was turning everyday thoughts and inside jokes into wearable art. He started running targeted ads, spending just $10 or $20 a day on each design to see what would stick. A few designs flopped, but some of them took off like a rocket. A shirt for dog lovers went viral in a Facebook group, selling thousands of units in a single week. He scaled his ad spend, reinvesting all the profits. His store went from making a few $100s a month to tens of thousands a day. He expanded from t-shirts to hoodies, mugs, phone cases, and tote bags. In 6 months, his little side project, born from a single meme, had generated over $1.2 million in profit. Leo never touched a single t-shirt or shipping label. He just focused on what he loved, creating cool designs. He proved that you don't need a factory to build $1 million empire. Coming in at number 7 is an idea that proves if you know something valuable, you can turn that knowledge into a fortune. This is the story of an accountant named David. David was an expert in personal finance and budgeting, specifically for small business owners. He was great at his job, but he could only help one client at a time. He felt like he wasn't making a big enough impact, and his income was capped by the number of hours in the day. He wanted to help more people and, let's be honest, make more money. He saw people selling online courses for everything from baking to coding and thought, why can't I do that for accounting? His friends told him it was a terrible idea. Who would pay to learn accounting online? It's boring, they said. But David knew that small business owners were desperate for this knowledge. They were struggling with their finances and needed clear, simple guidance. He decided to ignore the doubters and bet on himself. David spent 3 months planning and recording his course. He used a simple camera, a microphone he bought online for $100, and screen recording software. He broke down complex accounting principles into easy-to-understand video lessons. He created downloadable spreadsheets, checklists, and templates to make it as practical as possible. He wasn't a professional filmmaker, he was just a guy in his spare room, passionately explaining what he knew best. He was genuinely trying to provide as much value as he possibly could. He launched his course on an online course platform and set the price at $497. To promote it, he started a social media account where he gave away free, valuable financial tips every single day. He hosted free live webinars, teaching a small piece of his method, and then offering the full course at the end. The first webinar, only 30 people showed up, but 10 of them bought the course. That was almost $5,000 in 1 hour. He was floored. He knew he was onto something huge. He kept hosting webinars, and his audience grew exponentially. Word spread that his course was the real deal. Business owners were seeing actual results, saving money, and growing their businesses because of what they learned. In 6 months, David had enrolled over 2,500 students in his course. Do the math, that's over $1.2 million in revenue. He went from a capped salary to a millionaire by packaging his knowledge and selling it to the world. He proved that boring subjects can be incredibly profitable. This next one is a path that seems impossible to most, but we found someone who cracked the code in record time. At number 6, we have the story of a social media influencer, but this isn't your typical travel or fashion influencer. We met Maya, a woman who was obsessed with a very specific hobby: restoring antique furniture. It was a niche passion. She would find old, broken-down dressers and tables at flea markets and spend weeks bringing them back to life in her garage. She decided to start documenting her projects on social media. She didn't have a fancy camera or a production team. She just used her phone to film satisfying time-lapses of her sanding, painting, and restoring these old pieces. Her first videos only got a few hundred views, mostly from friends and family. But she was passionate and consistent, posting a new restoration project every single week. She wasn't chasing fame, she was just sharing what she loved. Slowly but surely, her channel started to grow. People were fascinated by the transformations. Her videos were calming, satisfying, and inspiring. She hit 10,000 followers, then 50,000, then 100,000. Her comment section was filled with people asking what kind of paint she used, what brand of sandpaper she recommended, and where she got her tools. She was becoming the go-to expert in the furniture restoration niche. That's when the brand started to notice. First, it was a small paintbrush company that sent her some free products. Then, a major paint brand reached out and offered her $5,000 to feature their new line of chalk paint in one of her videos. The offers started snowballing. A power tool company signed her to a $50,000 contract to be a brand ambassador. A home improvement retail giant offered her a 6-figure deal to create a whole series of videos using their products. In just over 6 months, Maya went from a hobbyist in her garage to a full-blown media mogul in her niche. Between brand deals, affiliate marketing for the tools she used, and ad revenue from her videos, she had earned over $1 million. She turned her passion into a profession and then into a fortune, all because she decided to hit record on her phone and share her unique skill with the world. It's an incredible testament to the power of finding your niche. We're at the halfway point, and this next idea is one of my favorites because it's so clever. Number 5 is the subscription box service. You've seen them for makeup, for snacks, for dog toys. But we found a couple, Tom and Lisa, who created a subscription box for something completely different: date nights. They were a busy couple who found it hard to plan creative, fun dates. They figured other couples must have the same problem. Their idea was simple. Every month, they would curate a box with a unique, themed date night inside. One month it could be a make-your-own pizza night with all the ingredients and a fun chef's hat. Another month could be a stargazing theme with a star map, hot chocolate, and a cozy blanket. They weren't inventing new products, they were just curating experiences and putting them in a box. It was a simple solution to a common problem. They started small, investing a few $1,000s of their own savings to create the first 100 boxes. They built the boxes themselves on their living room floor, packing everything by hand. They created a simple website and used social media ads targeted at people in relationships. They were so nervous before the launch, worried that no one would buy their quirky idea. They packed their car with the first 100 boxes and drove them to the post office themselves. The response was overwhelming. The first 100 boxes sold out in the first weekend. The feedback was incredible. Couples loved the convenience and the creativity. They started posting about their date in a box on social media, and word-of-mouth marketing took over. Their subscriber list doubled every month. They quickly outgrew their living room and had to rent a small warehouse space and hire their first employees just to keep up with the demand. Within 6 months, they had over 10,000 monthly subscribers paying $50 a box. That's $500,000 in revenue every single month. After the cost of the products and shipping, their profit margin was insane. They had created $1 million business from their own relationship problem. They identified a need, created a fun solution, and executed it perfectly. It just shows that the best business ideas often come from solving your own problems. Alright, this next one involves big risks and even bigger rewards. At number 4, we have real estate flipping. People think this takes years, but we found a guy named Marco who pulled off one of the fastest and most profitable flips we have ever seen. Marco wasn't a real estate mogul. He was a contractor who was tired of building houses for other people. He wanted a piece of the action for himself. He had been saving for years, building up a chunk of cash to make his first big move. He spent months searching for the perfect property. Not a pretty house, but a house with good bones in a neighborhood that was rapidly becoming more popular. He found the ugliest house on the best street. It was a wreck. The roof was leaking, the paint was peeling, and the inside looked like it hadn't been updated since the 1970s. Most buyers ran away screaming, but Marco saw an opportunity. He saw what the house be. He used his life savings and took out a hard money loan to buy the property. The second the deal closed, he and his small crew were there, tearing the place apart. This wasn't a weekend DIY project, this was a full-time, high-stakes sprint. They worked 16-hour days, 7 days a week. They gutted the entire house down to the studs. Marco was there every single day, managing the project, swinging a hammer, and making sure every single detail was perfect. He was betting everything on this one project. He made smart, modern design choices that he knew would appeal to today's buyers. He opened up the floor plan, installed a brand new kitchen with high-end appliances, and created a luxurious master bathroom. He didn't just fix the house, he completely transformed it into a modern dream home. The entire renovation, from purchase to completion, took just under 4 months. It was an incredible feat of project management and hard work. He listed the house for sale, and a bidding war started almost immediately. The final sale price was astronomical. After paying back the loan and covering all the renovation costs, Marco walked away with a net profit of just over $1 million. In 6 months, he went from a contractor with savings to a millionaire property developer. His massive gamble paid off because he had the vision, the skills, and the insane work ethic to pull it off. We are in the top 3 now, and this idea is something that literally anyone with a laptop can start today. At number 3, we have a digital marketing agency. We met 2 friends, Chloe and Ben, who had just lost their jobs at a large marketing firm. They were devastated, but they had skills. They knew how to run social media ads, how to build websites, and how to get businesses to show up on Google. So, instead of looking for new jobs, they decided to create their own. They started with nothing. No office, no funding, no employees. Just 2 laptops and a shared desk in Chloe's apartment. Their strategy was simple and brilliant. They went to local small businesses in their town, the coffee shop, the dentist, the local gym, and offered to run their digital marketing for free for 30 days. They were so confident in their skills that they promised, if you don't see results, you don't pay us a penny. It was an offer business owners couldn't refuse. The first few clients agreed, and Chloe and Ben worked tirelessly to deliver. For the coffee shop, they ran targeted ads that brought in dozens of new customers. For the dentist, they optimized their website so they became the #1 result on Google for dentist in their town. The results were undeniable. After the 30-day free trial, every single one of their initial clients signed up for a monthly retainer, paying them thousands of dollars per month. They used these initial success stories as case studies. They created a professional-looking website showcasing the incredible results they had achieved. Word started to spread. They weren't just helping businesses, they were transforming them. They started getting referrals from their happy clients. Soon, they had a waiting list of businesses wanting to work with them. They were so busy they had to start hiring other marketers to help with the workload. In just 6 months, their 2-person operation started out of desperation, had grown into a full-fledged agency with over 20 clients, each paying them between $3,000 and $10,000 per month. Their total revenue had surpassed $1 million. They went from unemployed to millionaires by taking their existing skills and applying them to a market that desperately needed them, small businesses. It's a powerful lesson in turning a setback into a massive comeback. This is without a doubt the most futuristic and controversial idea on our list. Coming in at the number 2 spot is NFT art. Now I know what you're thinking, NFTs are a scam, they're dead. But you have to hear this story. We found an anonymous digital artist who goes by the name Pixel. Pixel was creating incredible digital art for years, posting it online for free, getting likes and comments, but making almost no money. Artists have faced this problem for centuries. How do you prove ownership of your work and sell it for what it's worth? Then, the NFT boom happened. For those who don't know, an NFT or non-fungible token is basically a unique digital certificate, stored on a blockchain, that proves you own a specific digital file like a piece of art. For the first time, digital artists could sell a verifiable, one-of-a-kind original of their work, just like a physical painter sells an original canvas. Pixel saw this as a revolution for artists like them. Pixel decided to take their most popular character, a quirky little robot, and create a collection of 10,000 unique versions of it. Each one had different traits, colors, and accessories generated by an algorithm. They spent weeks perfecting the art and learning how to launch an NFT project. They built a community online, sharing sneak peeks of the art and explaining their vision for the project. There was a ton of excitement and hype building up to the launch day. When the collection went live, it sold out in 8 minutes. 8 minutes. The initial sale generated over $2 million. Pixel, the artist who was struggling to make a living, became a multi-millionaire in less time than it takes to drink a cup of coffee. It was absolutely life-changing. But the story doesn't even end there. The project became so popular that people started trading the NFTs on secondary markets for even higher prices. The project continued to grow, and Pixel earned a royalty on every single one of those secondary sales. This continuous stream of income pushed their total earnings well over the $5 million mark in under 6 months. This story is insane. It's a look into the future of art, ownership, and how creators can finally get paid what they're worth. It's a wild new frontier, and Pixel was one of the first pioneers to strike gold. And here we are. The number 1 idea that made an ordinary person a millionaire in just 6 months. This story is so powerful because it's not about a gimmick or a trend. It's about solving a fundamental human need. The number 1 spot goes to a hyper-local food delivery startup. We met a woman named Maria who lived in a small city, not a huge metropolis like New York or LA. The big food delivery apps didn't really service her area well, the options were limited, and the fees were high. Maria noticed that her favorite local restaurants, the small, family-owned places, were struggling. They couldn't afford the massive commissions charged by the big delivery companies. So, customers couldn't get the food they loved, and restaurants were losing business. Maria, who had a background in logistics from a previous job, saw a gap in the market. She thought, what if I could build a delivery service just for our city? One that's fair to restaurants and great for customers? She didn't have millions in venture capital. She started by going door to door, talking to the restaurant owners herself. She offered them a much lower commission rate and promised to feature them exclusively. She built a simple website and a basic app, focusing only on the core function of ordering and delivery. She recruited her first drivers by posting flyers around town, offering them a better pay rate than the big gig economy companies. She was building a truly local business from the ground up. The service launched, and it was an instant hit. People were so excited to finally be able to get delivery from their favorite local pizza place or taco shop. The restaurants promoted the service to their loyal customers. It created a powerful flywheel effect. More customers led to more restaurants wanting to join, which led to even more customers. Maria was obsessed with customer service, ensuring every order was fast and correct. She was competing on service, not just technology. In 6 months, her local delivery service had partnered with over 150 restaurants and was processing thousands of orders every single week. Her company, which she started with a simple idea and a ton of hustle, was valued at several $1 million, making her a millionaire on paper and incredibly profitable. She didn't just build a business, she built a lifeline for her community's local restaurants. It's the ultimate story of seeing a problem in your own backyard and building the solution. And there you have it. 10 real people, 10 brilliant ideas, and 10 new millionaires in just 180 days. From selling cat toys to delivering local food, the path to success is different for everyone. But the one thing they all had in common was that they didn't just sit on their idea, they took massive, immediate action. They were willing to risk failure, to work harder than anyone else, and to bet on themselves. These stories prove that you don't need a fancy degree or a rich uncle to change your life. You just need a great idea and the courage to see it through. I want you to leave this video feeling inspired, but more importantly, I want you to leave this video ready to act. What's that idea you've been thinking about? What problem can you solve? The world is full of opportunities, and as you've just seen, success can happen faster than you could ever imagine when you have the right idea and the right approach. Your journey to $1 million might have just started by clicking on this video. Don't let the inspiration fade. Write down your idea right now. Thank you so much for watching. I truly believe that someone watching this is going to be our next success story, and I can't wait to hear about it. If you want more videos like this to keep you motivated and inspired, make sure you destroy that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss a thing. We have so much more insane content coming your way. Until next time, go out there and make something happen.